get it. We are live. How's everyone doing? The title in there. Hey, Mama, how you doing?
Hello, hello. It's Monday.
Feeling good this Monday. You've been more energetic these last couple of Mondays though.
I
I'll say that.
have, and I've been meditating a lot more.
Hmm.
I've been just positively thinking and just manifesting positivity. Honestly, April is always a hard month for me, grieving wise.
Yeah.
So I have been trying to do things different the past couple of years. Listen,
Mhm.
maybe now.
I I like that. I like that for you. I will say that on both sides, I feel like you're learning more, even as a licensed mental health clinician. I feel like you're learning as well with the mental health lives. Oh, thank you. Love that too.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, but I feel like you're learning as well from the mental health lives.
Of course, implementing what you can't preach if you don't practice it. And I am really big on that.
Very true.
So I owning my accountabilities and you know checking myself when I need to, like, hey, you can't teach this if you're not going to practice it. How are you going to tell them how it works if it works if you don't practice it? So I've been doing
Yeah, it it, it kind of sounds hypocritical if you wouldn't,
a
you know?
hundred percent, 100%. I can't ask you how it's been for you and how the process has been if I'm not, you know, implementing it myself.
Very true, very true. But I've been doing good too these past Mondays. I've been taking it one step at a time instead of me just rushing right through it and thinking, oh yeah, I got this, or thinking that honestly, I feel like I move so fast, so I don't feel it too much. I think feeling it is a part of the process.
Yeah.
So I've been taking my time. I'm taking it one day at a time and really just slowing down. But yeah, yeah. But mom, so
Or slowing
um,
down, slowing down and pacing yourself.
it's the
That is
years.
the slowing down, pacing oneself, definitely not, allowing yourself to make mistakes and learn in the process from those mistakes. So yes.
No, I understand. No, no, one day at a time. You know what I mean? Like I said, learning from the process, actually doing these mental health lives, and taking the necessary steps, and taking my own advice,
Yep.
basically. You know,
Yep.
yeah. But slowing down. That's taking a couple years for me to understand, but slowing it down little by little.
Not how fast you make it to the to your goal, is how the it's not quantity is quality.
Yes,
So you create it a
yes.
lot more when you actually put in the work and get it done right, so that you don't have to go back and do it a double time.
I like that. I like that. But listen, Mo. So that actually kind of like introduces somewhat the topic that we're talking about today, the quality aspect of it, not really the quantity, but it's about quality, right? Life is about quality, not having just too much or whatever it is. So that kind of like melds into our title for today, our topic. When was the last time you evaluated your environment slash surroundings? So from I'm gonna let you answer as the mental health clinician. I'm gonna get your perspective first before I give you mine.
Well, in trying to shed some light and explaining a little deeper is, evaluating your environment could be whether you're, thinking of leaving that job, um, that relationship, the friendship, your surroundings as a whole, if it's contributing to you or taking out of you, if it's pouring into you as much as you're pouring into it, reciprocating, the energy, the vibe, the growth. um so uh I evaluated my surroundings, let's say job wise. We could tackle each proponent of it. Job wise, a couple months ago, let's say about December, got a promotion. So that was something that I evaluated, thought about, prayed about, meditated on, went for it. You know, it was a long journey, a long process, about a 2 month process of going through interviews, different channels, jumping through different hoops, but nonetheless successful. Thank goodness. Relationship wise, I evaluated that a couple years ago. Hence, I am, you know, I wouldn't say recently divorced, but been divorced for a few years now. Some don't know, some may know. It's not for everybody to know.
Yeah,
So,
it's it's a,
um,
it's a, it's a you thing.
yeah, it's a me thing.
Yeah.
It's a, you know, who those parties that were involved, my family, my children, it's a that thing. I don't broadcast it. But I evaluated that and now I'm single, but on the journey of dating, let's say that. On the journey of dating
So
now.
so haven't even started dating, but on the journey to warming up to the idea of let's
Yes,
start.
because
That's
I
the.
loved my freedom. I loved,
Oh, I
not that
know
I'm not free when I,
this. Oh my gosh, I know
but
this. You've been
I love,
traveling, yeah, traveling, doing what you want. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I only cater to my children, and that's even limited because they're older now and they can do a lot for themselves. So I love my freedom. I love exploring me. I love being in love with me because when you are in a relationship, you do encompass the other partner. You do, you know, their lifestyle, their behaviors, their attitudes. That becomes a part of you. So I love just catering to myself, but I am definitely open to the idea of dating. I'm very young and I don't want to, my kids are going to leave the home and I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone.
Bored. You got a couple years though. I mean, Jaden is pretty soon. Jaden got a couple more years.
Yeah,
They got like what 2, 3 more years, and he out of here.
yeah, he's got about 2 years, and they got a little bit longer to go. But as we all know, girls are more independent than boys, so you know, so those things. So that's relationship
Mm.
wise. So I tackled job, relationship, friendships. Um, Lost a lot along the way. Evaluated because sometimes we think we've lost. And that can be in relationships and jobs as well, professional world. Sometimes you think you've lost, but you actually have gained. Um, so with that being said, you know, lost some mentally, physically, emotionally, lost some friends along the way, but they have been for the better.
Mm.
They have been for the better because for me personally, um, I'm a little bit more focused and get to realize who's really riding with you and who's, you know, who is just
Dare to be
uh, um,
there.
there to be there, you know, there to be there because I was bringing something was beneficial to them, obviously, and maybe I
As
because of
well,
how
or
yeah
or or, or it could have been beneficial for you as well at that moment.
at that moment. I definitely agree that to that point. And we no longer serve a purpose in each other's lives. We've outgrown each other, so hence everyone just could kind of move on their way. Definitely no hard feelings on my end,
Um,
um, but I'm okay. You know.
so now when we talk about environment and surroundings, of course, surroundings are the people in our immediate space, right? And environment is the actual place itself. So when you say environment and surroundings, we're talking about two different things. We're talking about the
Oh,
people and the places.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
environment, the people, places, and things. In my environment, I went again, which couldn't correlate to leaving a relationship and now having to leave that environment because it was no longer healthy for everyone involved. And now I'm in a different environment and I am very happy, emotionally, spiritually. I'm very content. I'm satisfied with what I've done and how I got to this place. I'm very proud of myself, very proud of myself because I was still able to elevate instead of moving backwards.
But you gave yourself that space though. I feel like a lot of people, yeah, definitely thumbs up for that right there. I feel like a lot of people don't realize space is so important in any relationship, whether it's brother, sister, mother, father, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is, space. Because of course you're that statement actions make the heart grow fonder when it comes to like surrounding people, like surroundings, right? Now, the environment itself, I feel like separating yourself from that environment, the same way you're separating yourself from the people, is
Space,
that like, yeah, like, and mind you, everything in small doses, or not small
yeah,
doses, everything in moderation.
in moderation.
But for me, I take things in smaller doses, like people, situations, and I get very, and I've gotten better with the whole getting triggered situation. Now I don't get triggered, but I take precautions. Like, oh shoot, they said what they said just now, and it reminds me of a past experience. I've
Right.
been on this road before. Let me take precautions. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I've been dealing with the surroundings, the people, a little better. My environment as well, separating myself from certain situations in my immediate space. You know,
Right.
but after you evaluate your surroundings, Mo, I know that we said that separating yourself and giving yourself that space is a way to kind of like, I guess, what would you
Regroup.
say? Regroup. Boom, regroup. Right. What's another technique or advice you would give someone who's trying to like, who has evaluated their surroundings and their environment and they want to change it?
Well, first step to anything is awareness. What do you want to change? What is going
Okay.
on? Not helping you, promoting you, encouraging you, supporting you. Whether it be because you're stagnant in that environment and you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. You're stagnant in that job, in that position, and you feel like I haven't grown in the past 2, 3 years. Because when you are in a job or in a position, whether it be your own business or the corporate 9 to 5, you have to always, every 2 years is like a good self-evaluation of, okay, what am I doing here?
Mm.
What have I learned since I've been here? And goes as for relationships, again, friendships, anything. What have I learned? What am I learning? What am I getting? What experience am I obtaining and sustaining from this position? How can I contribute more? And do I feel complacent and stagnant? How do I contribute more, either myself or going for other opportunities, accruing more opportunities and duties, talking to my partner and seeing, hey, I see we kind of just been just doing the routine, passerbys, just doing the routine. What can we do to step it up a little bit, a notch? What do we talk more, do we talk less, do we engage in more activities, outdoors, indoors, whatever it is? You evaluate those situations, because, and as friendships, hey, I feel like, I'm always the one reaching out to you and I'm pouring more into you. Is there something going on with you
Mm.
where I feel like I'm reciprocated? Or a friend, I just feel like, hey, we're losing sight of each other. We haven't met up in a couple months, let's meet up face to face. Let's do something together.
Okay.
So these are things that you can, lightly, and it all starts with communication. You're aware, you communicate it, you voice it, you make your expectations clear, whether it's to yourself or the other person. You set those goals of, I want to move out because my environment is not contributing to my growth. It's pretty much keeping me back. I want to move out. So 1 to 2 or 3 years, start looking, start planning, start saving. The relationship is stagnant. Hey, do we need to go to therapy? Do we need to involve our clergy? Do we need to involve our community, our family, whatever it is? How do we change up what is not no longer working? Because I hate that notion of don't fix what's not broken. Sometimes even if it's not broken, it may not be working the same way. It may be slow and very stagnant and
Hmm.
very, like, not fulfilling.
Or
So
suffocating, right? Or suffocating. Yeah.
yes, definitely, or suffocating. So how do we become aware? We make our plans well known. We make our expectations known. We voice our emotions and our opinions. And how do we execute? How do we
Mm.
change?
Okay. Okay. So the first things first is acknowledging, pinpointing what the actual issue is, right? And that, of course, allows for more clarity. I remember you
Yeah.
saying that clarity, and that also, and communication, of course, in turn helps with the clarity. After we identify, we pinpoint. The next thing is we kind of go through a phase of trial and error. How can we fix this? Let's try different things. Let's add different variables to this equation right here. Let's see what works, what doesn't work. Okay, we did this. That actually made it worse. Let's not do that.
Right.
Let's kind of go another direction. Oh, that's getting better. Let's keep doing things of this nature. For example, stale relationship. Let's go out more. Let's talk more. Do you need more space? Like just try different things. You know what I'm saying? Like so, trial and error. So from what I understand, it's really like kind of like pinpointing and just trial and error,
Yeah.
seeing what works, seeing where you stand and
And
where
I
you
want
want to be.
too, because we have a huge, the community, well, now it's a little bit more openly, but you know, a lot of us don't like to talk about sex in the bedroom, sex in a relationship. You
That's
know, those
weird.
that tends to get, you know, that has relationships become torn apart, we pull apart because we're searching into somebody else. Hence now you're outside, you're flirting, you may engage in other activities,
Mm.
eating, to put it plainly. So those are things that we can't be afraid to have those conversations with our partners and say, hey, I don't feel fulfilled in this part of our relationship. Can we explore other options? Not to make the person uncomfortable, but you don't know if you don't open that door. Some people are uncomfortable talking about it in relationships, even with their partners. And that needs to be, somebody needs to step up and say, hey, I notice we don't talk about this a lot, or, you know, there's been less conversation. Let's engage in something. Let's engage in something different.
But Mario said
Yeah.
people are winging it when it comes to the topic of
Yeah.
sex. Sounds risky. It
Very,
is. It definitely is. And I would say honestly, it was a social media page that had like great topics about this too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they were just talking about how like it seems like you don't like you want to do mature things, but without having the mature conversation.
right,
You know what I mean?
right, right.
Like you're having sex and you're fucking around. Pardon me the French, but you're over here sleeping around and everything. But it's like you want to have the conversation about the topic that you're actually doing. Like it's kind of backwards. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it is. And it's
Like,
very risky because then, like Mario saying, you're winging it. And I'm thinking I'm satisfying you. You're thinking you're satisfying me. We're thinking that we're all satisfied here. And we're really not. We're really not, because we're not having those conversations of, how do I please you more? How do I please you less? What don't you like? What do you like? You know, whatever it is, can we introduce other things? It's just to your liking, but it's a conversation that needs to be had, because people, like he said, and I love the term, winging it. How do you wing a relationship? How do you wing, you know, satisfying and communicating with your partner of what your expectations are in that particular realm of your relationship?
okay, so we spoke about relationships. There's two more points I want to touch before moving forward. I want to talk about the relationship between parents
Mm-hmm.
and friends and family. I say friends and family instead. Let's talk about our significant other, our partner. I like that. Get the hard part out the way. Um, Actually, the hardest part I would say is your parents, honestly. But before we get to that, say the best for last. If you could, can you explain to me now the relationship between the partner, not partner, pardon me, relationship between family or friends? How do we navigate that? How would you say? Because it's very subjective. But what's one way we can navigate that?
I say one way to navigate that is everyone has to be open to the conversation, that piece of it, because a lot of times, again, we could wing it in friendships and just say, well, you know, this person doesn't reach out, or I have to always reach out. I'm just gonna fall back, and then there goes the strain and the pull apart, right? Because we're not willing to say, hey, what's the problem here?
Mm,
Why am I the one always, you know, extending the olive branch? Why am I always the one coming around, inviting you to dates, coming up with things? And it just seems like, and then when I do, it's either you say, yeah, I'll come, and then last minute you cancel. So what's the problem?
mm. Okay.
Um, I say, and I would give an example, right? I have a particular cousin of mine, wink, wink, cuz. I'm not gonna mention no names. So I have a particular cousin of mine, right? And growing up, we used to always bump heads. Always bump heads. She was known as the meanie. Like she just grew up, and this is what her demeanor was. Like this is what her, like she held on to that tough exterior.
Hmm.
And me, I'm gonna break through it. I'm a Capricorn. I'm just gonna because I know that's not all there is to this person. I know this person has a genuine heart, really big on family, very so my cousin, who I would say, you know, she's just real tough, real mean, right? So every now and then, you know, when she says things, sometimes I let it brush off my back and I just laugh it off. And then other times that I just keep poking her because I know she's gonna have the smart comeback. She's gonna give it to me, right? So over the years, I've learned to open this up. Who's JoJo? No, sir. JT.
This is JoJo.
I said, hey, get it right, get it right. So I've learned over the years with this cousin, right, to just let her be her, but at the same time, I don't give her too much leeway to stray
Mm-hmm.
apart because I keep bringing her back. Like, stop. She'll have comments like, "Oh, you and your family like to do things and not invite me." But mind you, we have a group chat, so the invitation was there.
Yeah.
She just didn't personal, and she would take things personally. So I've learned again to just kind of like, "Hey, cuzzo," like I'll dig jabs at her, I'll make fun of her, and vice versa. We give each other compliments, give each other flowers, and be as supportive to each other now that we have different businesses and ventures. So when it comes to family, if you value that person, because this is a cousin that I grew up with literally very young, if you value that person, and either whether the person has their own personal characteristics and known for certain things, don't let that be your hindrance as to why you don't extend the olive branch to that person, because we're family.
Yeah.
We're going to see regardless. We're going to run into each other. So I'd rather have it now getting older. I'd rather it be on a much nicer, cleaner note, because we have children, we have cousins, we like to bring our kids together.
Let's keep it cordial.
Yeah, So hit my cousin. I love my cousin Sherry. You know what I'm saying? But we all know, and I know she's going to see this. I love my cousin Sherry, but we all know, we used to bump
Jabs.
heads.
Yeah, we throw jabs. I have a cousin.
Now, like,
I'll say out loud. I'll say out loud. Me and Mia. I'll say it out loud. I don't care.
there you go. So we all
Me and
had that
Mia. Oh my gosh, it's like I love her to death.
little catch
That's my. I was like,
back,
yeah,
like, oh, what's going on?
yeah.
All right, cousin.
I throw jabs all the time.
Right.
And and sometimes to make it funnier for me, I just walk away. Make conversation. Why are you talking about my auntie? But no, yeah.
I see. That's
For
my
jabs.
that's
So
my cousin for life, no matter what. But she
so
gonna
with,
always have your back, no matter what. She
yeah,
hears something, she gonna come running. Like
it'll
she's
come
been
from a place of like negativity. It's just how they are, and it's just like, know what? You're emotional. You know what I'm saying? Or you're whatever it is. I'm gonna play around with
I'm a,
you because like today I got time. Yesterday I didn't have time. I brushed it off.
but
Huh?
sometimes
Yeah.
I'll let you have it, but other times, no, we gonna ride this out. We gonna ride
Yeah.
this out.
Yeah. Because like I want you to know too. Whenever you think I don't got time, today I got time.
I,
I can still come back at you if I wanted to. All
again,
right.
family is very precious. Family is all we have. And some friends are more than family. Some friends fill in that role as family. You don't have to be blood related, again, to value a friendship and a relationship that you have with a particular friend that has grown to be family.
I would say I like how you said be cordial with family because you're gonna run into the person, especially with they have partners or significant others that you associate with, or they have kids that you know what I'm saying, like are cousins to your children or whatever the case may be. So keeping it cordial, boom, I like that. Friends, I do see what you mean when you say they can be more than family, but I do feel like you you can approach that dynamic a little differently only because I feel like you can handle your friends and your family in small doses, but I won't always have to see you. I feel like with family, the chances of me running into you is higher than a friend that I only want to see in small
Yeah.
doses.
Yeah.
So stuff like that relationship is a little bit different.
I
So I can
completely
really,
agree.
you know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and still with family too. You can have family in small doses, but what happens when you go to Thanksgiving or family reunion or it's grandma's birthday? You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna see you. You're gonna see me. I'm not gonna be. I don't want to harbor that negativity, that negative energy, or that what's the word for it? What's the word for it, Mark? I don't know why I'm going blank right now.
Resentment,
Huh?
like resentment.
Resentment, but kind of like a grudge. Boom, grudge.
Grudge. Yeah,
That grudge.
grudge.
I don't want to harbor that grudge for you. I want to see you. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to be triggered into my see you. So now, you know what? Let me process this now. Let's keep it cordial.
I want
We know where we stand.
I want to celebrate you. I want to love up on you because, again, at the end of the day, we are family.
Yeah.
At happy.
Sometimes family piss me off. Sometimes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I'm waiting for the time me and Kevin get into argument. I want to see what that looks like. What that gonna be like.
Now you know he's a Capricorn. Now you know
Oh my
Capricorn
gosh, he got time.
this boy.
He got time. I don't know. Might as well see. I want to see how much time he got.
Oh, he got time.
Oh man. Okay, so the last thing I want to touch on before we end this conversation, Mark, we spoke about our partners and our significant others. We talk about our family and our friends. Now, I want to dial it down a little bit more. And parents. Parents is a very uh touchy topic. but how do we evaluate our surroundings, right, or our environment, and we notice that our relationship with our parents, we don't like it, or we notice, for example, like you want to mend a relationship. Like for example, I have this client, right? She's getting better with her mental health, and I love that. I love how this generation we're really focusing on what's up here, you know. So now she spoke to me, and she said how she would like to mend her relationship with her father, but only in the same room as a therapist. Like she wants a therapist to mediate
Right.
the conversation.
Right. I think
And
that's really good
right.
to go by.
And the child is literally taking steps and saying, "You know what? Let me try to be the one to make
Like,
it somewhat possible in some way." And of course,
right.
the parent didn't receive that statement too well, right? Or that suggestion. Like they didn't receive it too well. They didn't like it, whatever the case may be. But my thing is, when we see things like that, of course, I like her idea when it says have a therapist mediate the conversation. I like that idea.
Yeah.
But what are some other ways that a person can mend the relationship with their parents, or evaluate, or same thing, further evaluate it and take the necessary steps to improve
Well,
or isolate.
I don't, because that person, that child, we'll label it as a child so we can differentiate the parent, child and
Okay.
parent, because values of the relationship and the bond and connection with the parent, and is willing to extend that olive branch by just saying, let's have somebody who is unbiased. Have somebody who is impartial. Let's have somebody who doesn't know anything about us from the outside or inside, have any information, help us work out our differences. Because the hardest thing is, I would never say, I would not encourage to go and get somebody in the family, get somebody in, that because again, that could make it worse than it could make it better. So a therapist, what I think is the best way, and I would encourage this person to try different avenues of offering the therapy as the route to go, because that's the only way, honestly, in that situation, when a relationship has been strained for so long and there's so many underlying issues and circumstances, I would definitely say the therapy. If you want any sense of resolution, any sense of, because with the therapist, what happens there stays there.
Yeah.
you know that's pretty much, this is it, and you don't take it outside unless the therapist gives you work to do as a family, as a unit. But that's it. There's no conversation to go have with different parties because it stays there. And you feel a little bit more safe and secure. So
Mm.
I would just say, yes, break that generational curse, break that cycle of, we're just going to let it ride. And unfortunately, whoever ends up at their deathbed
Then
first,
you,
then then
yeah.
we want to, like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't speak to you all these years, and it wasn't even that serious all this time, and we could have resolved it. But would have you resolved? Because that person is still going to pass away with
So
that harbor and that grudge and that resentment
regardless,
and that anger,
regardless.
regardless.
So now,
Living will have to live with that continuously
yeah,
now, because you had the
that was their
opportunity.
choice.
Yeah.
But now on the other side of that answer, Mario kind of said it too. He said families don't get cut off anymore. I must be old school because exiled is still heavily in my vocabulary. My response to that was, we're trying to break the
Yeah.
generational
Yeah.
curses, stop the generational. But my thing is also, there is a point in time when you will have to cut a person off for your own sanity and your own
Oh
mental well being.
yeah, your own mental health, and I do agree. Even with your friend, even with the child, there comes a point in time, in order for you, if you keep extending it, oh, you get to the point where you overextend, right? You overextend, and then now you are now encompassing other mental health issues, other, possibly even physical health issues. So when you feel like you're overextending a little too much, and you've made a certain, I would say, set a goal. And, once a month, okay, for the next 3 months, I'm going to have this conversation.
Okay.
I'm not going to push. I'm not going to, pride, I'm just gonna have this conversation. And if, you know, the third, fourth time, however amount you set yourself at, doesn't work out, then you gracefully bow out and you leave that conversation where it's at, because you're not getting anywhere. You're actually doing more harm to yourself than good. So then you start to seek therapy on your own individually to help process, to help build, and to help work on those issues that you were not help to get resolved with this parent, right?
Okay.
And then in the long run, if you don't have kids, if you plan on having kids, and if you do have children, you work on breaking those generational curses. You work on building that relationship with your children, with whoever's in your life as a child to you now at that point in time. Or it could be nieces, it could be nephews, it could be godchildren, whatever it is. You have to learn when it's no longer serving you to keep encouraging and forcing a situation. And you have to break those ties for the better health of your sanity and your mental health. You have to learn it's okay sometimes to walk away.
Like you're both hanging off a cliff, and it's like, damn.
And we're just waiting who pushes the person
We're
first.
both gonna fall. I mean, yeah.
So I'd rather not push you, not encourage you to jump. I'd rather just back.
I'm gonna take care of myself. I'm gonna go focus on me right now. I gotta climb this mountain. I gotta get over this ledge. Yeah.
You can hang on there as long as you feel the need to. But I'm going to take myself. And this is one of the instances I would say, backtracking, backpedaling, get on your knees and start doing the backstroke, whatever it is. This is when it is important to do that. When it's no longer serving you any purpose to encourage a relationship with a parent that doesn't seem to understand, want to understand, or want to support you in your growth of trying to build a better, healthier relationship.
Okay. I do see what you mean. Pardon me. Mario is right in his statement. You know what I mean? And it is possible for two things to be right at the same time. As well as, of course, you know what I'm saying, I'm cutting you off. I'm going to cut you off if you're doing too much. But of course, there gets to a point where you say, you know what, let me make a goal. Let me have this conversation. The person's not receiving the conversation well, or we're going down the same path and I don't like where we're going. Let me bow gracefully. I know that sometimes you want to overextend, especially me, you know. I didn't want to classify myself as this, but I can be a people pleaser. And I've gotten good at saying no. I've gotten so good at saying no. I kind of like it.
We have to set limits. We have to set limits and boundaries, and it's okay. With people pleasers, which I was one, you start, like you said, one day at a time, and you practice, you implement what you're saying. You actually do it, and you stand on it, because narcissists, manipulators, prey on people like you because they just know how to switch it on and switch it off. So you stand on business when you say no.
Oh yeah, that's it. I'm done. I thought about it for a long time too, and the answer is no. like I thought about this, and yeah, there's no which way. Yeah, I'm gonna get at this for sure.
Yeah, but stand on business.
This was a very sorry, Mom, cut you
no, I just said stand on business 100%, because no one will do the work for you. You will not get the results that you're looking for if you are not implementing boundaries.
Okay, I like that. Evaluating your surroundings, your environment, and your surroundings. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get some new headphones too, so I can not cut you off. Sometimes I speak and you kind of go mute.
No, you're fine. Okay. Fine. That's when you're processing the information. It's good. It's a good thing.
That was a big conversation, Mom. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for coming. I really appreciate the engagement. I appreciate you guys showing up and being a part of this. Next Monday, we're gonna do, of course, a different mental health live, same time, different topic. We're gonna push for 12 o'clock again, or actually, again.
Like the 1 o'clock, because I think we've gotten a lot more people. I don't know, maybe between 12:30 and 1, because people are, going on lunchtime at 12, and maybe they're trying to get that, that lunch in real quick, and they could probably. So we have to play around with. Ask some people like, what is the best, or just kind of see.
We could vote too.
Yeah.
have them vote and see what they prefer.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Let's definitely do that. And that also would engage more of the audience, have them, be a part of the conversation more. You know what I
We're
mean?
here.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
Let us know what works best because we want to give you the full, nitty gritty, the full advantage of this. So we'll make our schedules readily, the changes needed so we can make sure that you guys are getting this.
I like that. I like that. Okay, okay, I like that. All right, y'all. I'm gonna start posting some clips as well. A little breakdown of the whole 40 minutes. Sometimes the little minute clips or the 30-second clips or whatever it is. Really get the little key pieces, the little gold nuggets and everything. I like that. All right, everyone. I will see you next week, same time. We'll shoot for 1 p.m. again. See how that works. Got a different topic.
All right, guys, have a good one.
All right, take care.